If you've ever wanted to create a digital product and actually turn it into a real income stream, this video will show you the exact system for you to follow step by step. And the best part is you don't need any complicated tech stack or tools. This video is sponsored by OmniSend, the email and SMS marketing platform built for creators and entrepreneurs like you. All right, so without further ado, the system in a nutshell works in 5 specific steps, the core steps for you to follow so that you can get as much success with your online business. All right, so let's get to it. Step number 1, we're going to create our digital product. So your digital product, it's going to be your asset. It's going to be your money maker. And with this product, you're going to be driving traffic to it. How do you know what's going to sell, especially if you don't have an audience? Well, that's where a little bit of research, a little bit of brainstorming and brain jumping comes in, taking a look at what people are searching for online already. And usually what I like to do is see what people are commenting on places like YouTube, on Instagram. You know, maybe there's a question that keeps popping up and then people are liking it. That particular comment gets quite a lot of engagement. That is a good sign that that is already a need, a problem where you can offer a solution. And just to give a bit of context, your digital product does not need to be anything too comprehensive. We're not talking about making a software or making an app or making a 200-page ebook that just is going to perhaps even waste your time. So rather than doing that, we're going to create something that's a lot easier. I'm going to name a few digital products that I recommend you start with, especially if you have no idea where to begin. And the first is a short guide, or it could be like a mini ebook. It doesn't have to be a 200-page ebook, as said. It can be as much as 30 pages. The thing that I've learned from creating digital products since 2006 is that more pages does not equal more value. If you can pack whatever the knowledge, the skills, the hobbies, that you've learned over the years that you want to get across and teach and train people on, then you can make it into a 30-page guide if that's all that's required to provide those golden nuggets. The next digital product that you can create is a simple checklist, right? It could be a checklist on here's how to get started with affiliate marketing. A simple one-pager with a checklist that people can follow. That already is quite valuable, but not just any generic checklist. It should be specific to something that you do, your procedure, your process, your way of doing a particular thing. That is what's going to sell a lot better than just providing here are some general steps. The next digital product, and one that is quite easy to create actually, because you may already have it, are templates. Now this could involve graphical templates. It could mean something like a system template or a Notion template. The thing is, you're probably already using something like Notion and you've got your own page, right? Your own workspace where you're putting in something in your dashboard. It could be a content calendar. Why not turn that into an actual product and sell it as a product? Because if it's saving you time already, why not sell it to others so that could save them time as well and get results? Systems and trackers are another kind of digital product that you can create. This differs to templates because with systems, these are things that you may already be using, like Zapier systems that run on automations. Or it could be a tracker where you've got an Excel sheet and your audience simply inputs some numbers and their own metrics, and then out comes all of the results. And finally, the next easiest digital product to create are printables. What can you create that can be printed off that people could use? It could be a simple planner, could be a 30-day guide, or a checklist that one can follow. If you take a look at Etsy, that'll give you a bigger picture in terms of what digital products are being sold. So that's a great outlet as well, and a great marketplace to look at, and a platform where you can do a bit of research. The important thing that I've learned over the years is that if you can make it less overwhelming and just solve one problem, right? One problem, then that is going to be more of a game changer and more transformative, as opposed to trying to create a guide or an online course that is going to alleviate the pain of many different, symptoms and all these things, right? So rather than doing that, fix one issue and solve that problem as opposed to going for many. To give you an idea of a digital product that I created, this is a PDF on 50 digital product ideas. And I simply listed the 50 kinds of digital products that you can create yourself, such as an online course, got an ebook, you got planners, quick start guide, workbooks and worksheets. So this here is actually quite relevant to this part of the video, this section, right? So if you're looking for ways or digital product types, then you can go ahead, grab this yourself. I'll link it in the description box below if you're keen. But it goes to show it's quite simple to create one, and you can see where I am. I am in Canva, and all I did was I created a new A4 document. So if you simply go to Canva and search for A4, that'll give you the dimensions of what an ebook typically looks like. So we're going to create a document, A4 portrait, and then on the left, you'll see design. This will give you quite a number of templates to choose from. Some are paid ones, so you do need a pro account. If you don't have a Canva account to begin with, you can use the link in the description. That'll give you a 30-day trial of Canva Pro so that you can actually use some of these for your digital product. Now, pick one based on the aesthetics that you like. Of course, these can also be customized. So for instance, if you like this one here, open it up, gives you quite a few layouts to choose from, and you can pick and choose what you want. So I kind of started from scratch for this particular product here, and then I put a background here, I put in the text. You can see 50 digital product ideas, made it, a bit more creative there. And then I went away, created my first draft of this, and then I added the screenshots later. So these are things you can do to polish up your digital product. Don't worry too much about getting it right at the start, perfecting it. That's what's going to kill the whole process. And if you want to get your first digital product out, it's all about simplicity first. You don't need to go as fancy as what I've done here, even though it's quite minimalist, which is the look that I went for. But once you've created your guide, like this one here, all you need to do is click on share, and then we're going to click on download. Make sure to export it as a PDF document. Now, alternatively, you don't need to use Canva. You can very well use something like Google Docs, which I've got a full tutorial on to show you how to create an ebook or a guide in Google Docs. And that, as you know, is free as well. So depending on what you are selling, what you're going to do is prepare your digital product file for basically distribution. So if it's a Notion template, you want to grab that share link. If it's let's say a Zapier automation, you want to make sure you are sharing it to the public with a public link. So only those with that link can view your automation and maybe duplicate that workflow. If it's a printable, you want to save it as a PDF and making sure it's high quality so that if they do go out and of course print it out, it is high quality, or it's going to be high quality on paper. All right, moving on to step 2, we're going to create a freebie. Now, what's a freebie? Well, it's something you give away for free in exchange for a person's contact details. This is primarily their email address so that you can follow up on those who opted in and said, yes, I claimed this ebook, this guide. I want to learn more about this subject. And that's the exchange that is given. This is also known as a lead magnet because your freebie, your guide, whatever it is that you're giving away, which I'll explain in this step, is the magnet, right? It's magnetizing your audience to your offer. And then with this freebie, we're going to lead them to the actual full digital product. But it's a little taster, it's a little teaser into, them getting to trust you first before making that buying decision. This converts a lot better rather than straight out of the gate, trying to sell your digital product when they, in fact, perhaps don't even know what you have to offer, what's the value you're going to give, right? So rather than doing that, here's something you can take for free, no strings attached. And then, I will subtly mention my digital product later on, and these will be all in the next few steps. So what can you give as a freebie? Well, one of the easiest things you can do is offer a stripped down version of your full digital product. So going back to my 50 digital product ideas example, once again, I could maybe provide a one-pager with 10 proven digital product ideas. And if they find value in that, that's where you can mention that, hey, I've got 40 more digital product ideas in my 50 digital product ideas. Click this link that'll take you to the checkout page for this right here. So that's an example of stripping down a full digital product. Now, alternatively, you can provide something different, but you have to make sure it stays on topic. It stays relevant to the offer, your main offer. Otherwise, the conversions won't be high at all. And here's a pro tip. You don't want to overwhelm them with a lot of different tips, a lot of different systems or guides or templates. All right, we are going to just fix one thing and really dial in when it comes to this. It's really hard to, or maybe hard to wrap your head around this. Certainly always does for me, because when I'm giving away things, I like to over deliver, making sure I give all the bells and whistles, here you go, so that they're starting on the right foot. But in fact, a freebie or a lead magnet should only solve one thing. They should take that away and be able to implement it within, let's say, half an hour. So that's a guide and a principle that you can follow when creating a lead magnet. The thing is, you want to leave room and an appetite for them to grab that full course or that full guide, ebook, template that you are, of course, wanting to sell. So the process is quite similar to whatever you're doing with creating your digital product. So if you're creating in Canva, just create a new project, but provide just, let's say, the 10 digital product ideas that you are wanting to give away free, and that's it. All right. So same process as step 1, and that's all you're doing for step 2. All right. Moving on to step 3, we're going to set up automations in our email marketing platform. And the one that I recommend and who kindly sponsored this video, I actually use this or have been using it for a couple of years now, is OmniSend. So if you look in the description box below, that will take you to this page here. To give you a bit of background of what OmniSend is and what it can do, is when someone opts into your newsletter, or if they, let's say, put their hand up and say, hey, I want that freebie of yours, they can enter their email, and then their email and your contacts will be stored on the databases of OmniSend, to put it in really simple terms. And then with that, you've got tools such as automations that you can run on certain days. With OmniSend, the pricing is free for the first 250 contacts. So it's great if you're just starting out and you want to play around with OmniSend. This is also going to give you access to the tools that you'll need for this system. So go to that link, click on Start Now, set up your account. And I've got a full tutorial on setting up your OmniSend account in the description box below. So I won't run through every single process in this particular video. But once you're in your account, you want to head to automations, because this is what's going to help you run your automated business and sell that digital product of yours. So right here, you can click on Start Workflow. And with workflows, what happens with workflows is you can set your emails to send out on predetermined days on OmniSend. That's a great thing about OmniSend. And when you click on Start Workflow, and once you're in here, we're going to click on Create Workflow. And don't worry about the workflows down the bottom. We're going to create one from scratch. And what you're essentially going to do is, I'm going to make this really simple, all right? On day 0, which is once they opt in to receive that freebie of yours, which you created in step 2, you want to make sure you deliver that freebie immediately. In day 1, you share a quick win or tip related to your topic. So let's say we're talking about yoga, all right? Yoga, and you can share a quick win or tip related to your topic. So it could be that one move that you can do every day to improve your posture. So provide that in an email. Day 2, tell us short story or case study. So these are just examples. Make up your own, but this is what I recommend you do in terms of the emails that get sent out. Day 3, give another valuable insight or tool. Day 5, subtly introduce your digital product. So this way you're not being pushy right off the bat. And day 7, you're going to share testimonials, results, or a final reminder to check out your product. And how you can do this in OmniSend is right here, you define who enters it. So here, the trigger, we can start by selecting entered a segment and then selecting which specific segment they entered. So I've got quite a few segments here. You can name them yourself once you've created your actual form, your opt-in form. Again, link to setting up your OmniSend account will be in the description box below. So follow that before you follow this. And then what you're going to do is just drag and drop email. And then this is where you can set up your email. We can say, welcome, here's your download. All right. Enter a pre-header and the sender's name. So I'm going to put in Willis Tijin here. And then down the bottom, we're going to click on edit content. That will take you to the area, the editor, where you can write your email. All right. And once you've written your email, I'm just going to put some dummy text here. I'm going to click on content and then some, let's say, body content right here. All right. And that's it. We're going to click on finish editing. Let's say we are done with our day 0. I'm missing quite a bunch of things. So of course, don't follow it to the T, but you know, this is a pre-header. And then what you're going to want to do is put in a delay after that gets sent. So we're not going to wait 1 minute. That's going to be too annoying. Remember the sequence, if we refer back to this, we want to wait 1 day since they opted in. So here you can set your days. We're going to go 1, but instead of minutes, we're going to go days. So that way we're going to then allow the audience to wait for 1 day until we send another email. And this is where the second email gets shared. So share a quick win or related tip. You rinse and repeat the same thing in terms of adding that email, adding the subject line, and of course, editing the content. And then once again, we're going to add another delay, but this time we're going to wait another 1 day. Bear in mind that you choose a time delay between the last and the next workflow step. So we're going to just put in 1 day instead of 2 days since they opted in. That's just the way that it works. And then we're going to click on 1 day. So do this until you have this suggested number of emails. You don't have to strictly follow it, and you can continue on, let's say with day 14. So 1 email a week later since the last email that was sent. You know, this is just a suggestion. This is something that's worked for me as well without getting, without being too in your face with your subscribers. Because the thing with this is you're sharing value. You're not actually selling and being pushy and being direct in terms of selling your digital product. The key here is each email aim should be to help them first, offer value first. When you consistently add value, people will likely trust you, and therefore they'll easily make that buying decision to buy your product. And really, once you've set up your automation, it will run on its own. So as soon as someone opts in to grab your freebie, that will then be entered into this sequence. There's nothing for you to send every single day. There's nothing for you to do or cold call. None of that. All of it happens in the automations in your OmniSend account. And the great thing about OmniSend is whenever you want to send a newsletter or a broadcast message on the spot, let's say you want to send it at 8 p.m. tonight or 8 a.m. This morning, then you can create a new campaign just like how I create my campaigns here. And then that will get sent. So let's say this is just to show you an example. This is my last email that I sent 8 AI tools that save you time. I'm just going to view the email so you can see what it looks like. And there you go. You can send simple emails like this to drive traffic to your latest video, your latest content. And in this case, you can certainly drive traffic to your offers too and make like instant sales because that's getting broadcasted to, those who actually opted in to receive news and updates from you. So once again, if you want all these automations to happen, make sure to grab your OmniSend account, 250 contacts for free, nothing to pay. Let's move on to the next step. All right, step number 4, we're going to set up our shop to actually sell our digital product. The one that I've been recommending is Payhip to begin with because there's no charges on a monthly or yearly basis. Just take a look at their pricing on their page. $0. The only thing is you only get charged when you actually make a sale, which is quite great, right? Especially if you're just starting out, you're on a budget, 5% transaction fees, all you need to pay plus any PayPal/Stripe fees. And that's quite little compared to another competitor like Gumroad or Lemon Squeezy. So it makes it really affordable. And once you begin to make a lot of sales, a lot of volume, then you can consider one of the other plans because at the $99 per month pro plan, there's no transaction fees at all, which quite makes sense if you are wanting to save. So without a doubt, start with Payhip because this is going to allow you to set up your own shop. And then once you're in there, you can set up your product by going to your product section, then clicking on add new. There's quite a few of my test ones right here. When you click on new, your product may be something of high value. And depending on the way that you price things in your business, that's what's going to determine your pricing. If you're going for lower ticket, lower price to get people to funnel them into it, and then perhaps offer upgrades or upsells, then yeah, you might sell your product for $7. And then after that, you've got an upgrade for a $47 product. So that bumps up your sale and customer value even more. But to start off with, if you don't know where to price things, and let's say you're selling a simple guide, $7 might just be it, all right? Because you want to make that first sale. So don't make it too high for what you're selling it for, even though you may think it's quite a lot of value that you're offering. But if you're just a complete beginner, then maybe selling it and pricing it lower will help introduce your offers, other things to your audience. And then what you do is you can upload some images, up to 9 items here. You can very well embed video as well, just to demonstrate what it is that you are selling. Under description, this is where you write your sales copy, and you can use the assistance of ChatGPT or Claude to help you write up something that is engaging and that may be of high conversion. And then right here, you've got some advanced options. If you do want to do things like this product is tax exempt, so a few other things that Payhip allows you to do. Once you add it, you should have something that looks like this. So this is, for example, a pack of wallpapers that I'm selling just for demonstration purposes. I've got my bunch of wallpapers here, some cover images, and then here's my copy. Get access to 10 beautiful and aesthetic desktop wallpapers, and then you can sell it, all right? And the great thing about Payhip is you can offer different levels or packages. Let's say basic plan or a pro plan, even though it's not subscription-based. So you can call it something like basic and pro, or silver and gold pack. In this instance, we've got a basic pack for $10 and a pro pack for $20. And by the way, yes, this is a great digital product idea as well, by selling wallpapers for graphics and designs as well. So by doing this, all right, we are essentially creating 2 different products and allowing you to increase the value of each customer. For this example, I'm going to make it visible so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to save that. Now I'm going to find it back in my product section and then click on view so that you can preview what it looks like. There we go. We've got the basic and the pro. And if someone does want the pro for, there's 10 additional wallpapers, they can do that. Rather than selling for $10, you've got $20 right off the bat. Clicking on add to cart will add it to the cart. Checkout works beautifully. And by the way, if you want a full comprehensive tutorial on setting up your Payhip account, I've also got a tutorial on that. Link to that will be in the description box below. That'll talk more about things like the marketing tools that you can implement as well. So you can offer coupon codes, you can set up an affiliate program. You've got built-in mailing lists, but I don't recommend this one since it's quite limited and very basic. You can cross-sell your other products and also offer upgrades right there. And then let's say for this product here, you can offer this product as an upgrade, or let's say special discount of 50%. And you can add that upgrade right there. The other thing that you want to make sure you set up, and I also explain this in the full Payhip tutorial, is your store, right? You want to create your store using the store builder. This is kind of like your own Shopify store where you can feature the products that you do want listed. Since I made the modern desktop wallpapers visible, you can see it here. All right, so that's at Payhip. You want to make sure you upload your product onto your Payhip shop account. And just to give you a bit of reference, your store is essentially payhip.com/the username that you selected when you set up your account. Step number 5, we are going to actually get that audience to see our offers. So with that said, you do want to drive traffic to your freebie. And where you begin is you start posting content, right? For me, my main channel is on YouTube. As you know, with every single video that does get published, you can check out the description and there's a bunch of links. That's where I usually link my CTAs, right? Things that I'm trying to sell, things that I talked about in the video, products as an affiliate. That's an opportunity, right? You want to grab as much attention, as much eyeballs to your offers via content marketing. Now, you can start with Instagram. You can start with whatever platform that you are comfortable with in sharing your knowledge, your skills, and the things that you know But that's the way to gather leads. That's the way to also get people to see your freebie. There's no other quick way, unfortunately. You know, if you want to build a real long-term business and organically, it's by posting content on a consistent basis, whether that's once a week or once a day. You know, make it as sustainable as you can. We all have 24 hours in a day, so it just depends how your routine is. And if you want to use a content calendar to help you, which is what I do. I've also got a link to my master YouTube content planner that helps me post on a weekly basis. If you're interested in following that sort of system, I'll link it in the description box below. For whatever it is, you know, whatever platform it is, you want to stay consistent on that platform, sharing what you know. The key is to link your freebie on the bio, or you could even use tools like ManyChat to get your audience to DM you a specific keyword or tag. You would have come across this from other creators, and then that will automatically send that freebie. All right, so let's go back to that example of, you know, the 10 digital product ideas, and I could get someone to DM the word ideas, all right, quote unquote ideas, and then that will automatically send that PDF, that one pager of 10 digital product ideas, and then funnel them into my Omnisend account. And the great thing about ManyChat is that it does have an integration with Zapier, which allows you to create these workflows. So if someone, let's say, opens a chat or a new trigger happens, then they will automatically get onto your Omnisend database to create a new subscriber. And that way they're in your database, and then they will start receiving your automations, your sequence right here, your day 0, 1, 2, 3, all of that all happens on the back end. And you see how powerful this is. You know, all you're doing that is perhaps active is driving people to your offer. Your product's already been created, your freebie's already been created. So focus on getting as much eyeballs and attention to your freebie and your offer. So use and utilize, leverage the power of tools like ManyChat, or make sure that there's a clear call to action wherever you're posting content, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever it may be, so that they are getting value from that freebie first. My favorite way, of course, is here on YouTube, because I see it as an evergreen platform where, you know, you are posting your videos, and then that video, those videos will stay there for the life of it, as long as it's on there. And if you are targeting and you're optimizing your videos in a manner that targets search engines, that is on YouTube and Google, because Google does list YouTube videos too, you want to make sure you enter those keywords in. So for example, you are sharing a video on, you know, Omnisend tutorial. You want to make sure those keywords are in the title and description of your videos. Tags don't matter, but those are things you can do, these little tweaks to get your video ranked, and then therefore gaining organic traffic through those videos. So the more videos you're posting, the more of a chance that your videos are going to be shown to the eyes of YouTube audience, and therefore then funnel them into your offers. So in closing, that is it. That is a simple system that you can follow to begin with if you're just starting out, and run these sorts of automations so that you can create your first product, get your freebie out there, and get that sale. It's a powerful but simple system that I've been following for many years, and it just simply works. Again, links to all the tools and resources that I talked about in this video will be in the description box below. And by the way, if you use my link and my coupon code when signing up to Omnisend, you do get 30% off for the first 3 months. So code is Aurelius30. And then with any of the plans that you see here, that'll grant you 30% off for the first 3 months. But there we go. Any questions about this video, feel free to leave them in the box below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will leave up a couple of relevant videos for you to watch here and here. I'll see you there.